welcome to episode 4 of Game of King Chair. I'm your host, Dick, and the co-host is texting. Jeez. I'm usually the texting guy. Oh, I thought you were over there texting.
No, I was in doing some introspection,
Gotcha.
thinking about this episode.
I'm sitting here like, what the fuck? I'm usually the one on his phone.
Yes, typically, almost always. Not this time, though.
He was thumbing his beer.
And we got special guests, Austin.
Hello, hello.
Making his first appearance on the Podcastrophe channel.
Oh.
How's that feel? Probably not that great. It's probably just okay. Mildly
just
okay.
A thing.
Mildly okay.
Sweaty.
Yeah, yeah. And welcome back, John.
Hi.
You were here for the first episode, or the prequel episode of Game of King Chair.
Yeah.
I'm excited to finally have you on the show. Because
It's a good episode to be here. There's a lot to talk about.
Yeah.
Not much of it's happy.
yeah. Real quick,
cry.
before we really get into it, I'd like to shout out Leo Moriccioli of Frog League Studios. He did the intro song for this, and I just want to make sure some credit is given because he says I contacted him. He never said I could use the song.
Oh.
However, he has stated in several videos beforehand, hey, I don't care if you use my stuff for your videos, your content, just credit me.
Cool.
So,
Well, maybe if we remember, we'll throw a link in the...
I always throw the link. I have been. So luckily, that's there for sure. But let's dive into this. The Last of the Starks. What an episode.
Yeah,
That's one way to put it.
there wasn't a whole lot of action. I mean, I guess it's hard to say that there's a whole lot of action after the episode before.
Yeah.
That was very action heavy. But it kind of felt like another... I mean, I guess some big things did happen.
Yes.
But it felt like it was just kind of mulling along. Like, you know what's coming, you know? We're going to have ourselves another big old fight. And this felt like we were just marching towards it.
Yeah, but it also didn't feel like, oh, we're just setting up for another big fight, like the filler episode that a lot of people said before the long night.
Yeah. I love
That episode, like, I enjoyed the one before that because it wasn't just all filler, like a lot of people said. But this one felt more like it was setting up more plot points. It was definitely like thickening the story, giving more drama, what's going on here and there. So it was.
I mean, it doesn't seem like there's only about 3 hours left.
Huh.
So
there's a whole end game left.
Yeah. So
And it is the end game.
And I say I'm not ready. It just feels like, man, like you got 2 more episodes to wrap this whole thing up, and I don't know how you're gonna do it, but they were definitely sprinting towards it with this.
At this point, after the long night, so up until the long night, we all speculated and theorized what was going to happen and all of that. And like after the long night, I just stopped. I stopped theorizing. I'm just like, whatever's going to happen is going to happen. I feel like no theory I come up with is going to be as good as whatever they do. Maybe. Yeah, you're right. I mean, I don't know. I feel like if I don't come up with something, I'm not going to be disappointed.
I've resigned myself. I think something about the long night. I finally, and other people fell out seasons ago. A lot of people say it was around season 6 where they're like, okay, we're just tunneling off here. And
yeah.
I'm just such a huge fan that I was like, I'm going to stick through this till the very, very end.
Oh yeah.
But after the long night, I was finally just kind of resigned to the fact that it's not going to end the same as the books, which is where that's what I really, really love about Game of Thrones. Obviously, it's an amazing TV show.
As a fan of the TV show, I love what they've done so far. The only season I haven't liked is season 5.
That one was mostly just
where everything's
King's
split off.
Landing.
It's split off into Tyrion and Arya going to Essos.
And you know, like upon second watch, season 5 is not bad.
No, there's so much that happens in season 5, but it seems just like so toned down and just everything, like the violence and death and battles and just sex.
And I think that is because that is when we were moving from the source. Yeah. So all the stuff that really made everyone fall in love with Game of Thrones was when they were basing it off of George's story, and it's in these last couple seasons where the show gets to kind of
become its own.
Yeah, spread their wings creatively. That they started doing things that people didn't really like a whole lot. So, not that people didn't like a whole lot, but I don't know. It's so fun with something this big. You have such a large fan base, and it can be so divided. I'm sitting here, and it might sound like I'm not enjoying it. I'm enjoying every fucking second.
Yes,
of it,
absolutely.
But
I mean, I remember last season, everybody was like so up in arms against the pacing. It's like, man, if you hated if you were up in arms about that last season, don't watch season 8.
Can I just say that I've always viewed that complaint as utter tripe. The pacing, like, is it that hard to imagine that the series skipped forward a week, so that you don't have to watch them ride a horse for 10 fucking hours?
Yeah,
like,
this isn't Dragon Ball Z.
I'm not trying to watch Castaway every other episode.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's a fun, like with the books too, like especially between. Sometimes it's months.
Yeah.
Yeah,
this whole show's taken over, like, the whole series. It's what, like, 10, 12 plus years? Like, this whole thing's been going. Like, they're not, like, Arya and Sansa and them aren't little kids anymore. They're teenagers. They're young adults now.
Yeah.
John's lived a whole life, died, and now he's living another one.
Yeah, he
John's
died.
on life number 2.
He's on number 2.
Yeah.
But with the pacing, like, that, and, like, I've heard complaints that people are saying it feels like there's, like, not much content. It's kind of rushed. I'm like, well, everybody's dead.
Yeah, I mean, you
Like,
literally only have main characters left.
You have main characters left. A lot of these side stories and stuff, they're done. They finished them up.
Or they coalesced.
Or they got together. They've all joined up, and now you have, like, before the long night, you had the White Walkers, you had the North, and then you had Cersei. And now you have the North and Cersei.
Yep.
I don't think it's as simple as the North. I think the North can definitely be split into pro and anti-Dany factions.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, after this episode, it's more pro John all around.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's a good way to put it.
Unless
So I think
you're,
that put us there.
unless you don't
We're
have
now
the
at
balls
episode.
for it.
Yeah.
We're ready to talk about the episode.
Yeah.
So that's a major theme that they've been building on, and I think this was the episode where it was just
It finally
laid out. Like,
Yeah.
We all know, and I even argued it. Danny's upset that John has this claim to the throne now, and we all know that John doesn't care. John doesn't want it, and he would never try to take it. And Danny brought up, she's like, dude, it don't matter if you want it. Your people want it.
Yeah.
And you're a great guy, John, but the people, they're not thinking like we are.
Yeah. You
The
get that
people
whole
are only behind me because you are.
Yeah, you get that whole dinner scene where first you get the I'm going to serve the people moment where Danny's like, "Hey Gendry, you're now a lord."
Which I thought was garbage.
And not a bastard
Really?
anymore. Really?
I didn't like that. Okay, so she's the breaker of chains.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah.
She is trying to change the way that the game works. And I am in the faction that I don't think, because they view bastards like awfully. Right?
Yes.
If you're not born, in wedlock or whatever, then you're just frowned down upon. And they've spent a lot of time building the idea that shit doesn't matter. So when Dany naturalized him, she didn't argue that it was for the sake of, you're a great person, it doesn't matter that you're a bastard. She said, you are now naturalized because I say so.
That's true.
I'm like, it's cool that she did it. I'm glad that Gendry got that. But I think she could have done better for herself, arguing it from the standpoint of, I'm not going to be one of those people that looks down on you just because you're baseborn.
Yeah, and also coming from Esteros, they don't have bastards. We're Melisandre, not Melisandre.
Esteros?
Esteros.
Essos.
I'm terrible.
I kind of like that, actually.
Easteros.
Easteros. It's not Westeros.
Northeros.
Northeros. But
And there is a...
And then Dorne.
What's her
There
name?
is Sothros is a thing.
Sotheros.
Sothros is actually
Really?
a place. Yeah.
Melisandre, she pointed out that they're
Sothorios.
that there are no bastard names like Snow and whatever. Like they're whatever your father is, that's your name. That's your namesake, no matter what, even if it's out of wedlock. And her, as you pointed out, Danny doing that, saying that because I said so.
It was a power move.
It was a power move instead of just coming in.
It was a power move because it basically gains Gendry's fucking loyalty. He's like, oh yeah, she fucking naturalized me.
You know what she did? Who'd she just naturalize? Robert Baratheon's kid.
Yeah.
The last true king.
Yep.
So she just gave somebody else a claim to her throne.
Ooh. I did not think of that.
Yeah, so if Jon Snow dies, he has true claim to the throne.
But that's a...
Maybe. I would say that her entire argument rests upon the idea that Robert was the usurper and never had an actual claim to the throne. He just took it illegally. Yep. And so his son would only have a weaker version of that claim, especially being born a bastard. And the entire argument behind her invasion and her reason for having this war would preempt any claim that Gendry might have.
That's a good point.
And not to mention that the original conquest of Westeros by Aegon the First, the Baratheons were some of the first and best allies that he had.
Yeah.
And this is sort of mimicking that in a way. It is mimicking it, but like you were saying with...
Did you just forget my name?
No, I was trying to put my thoughts together before I started saying them out loud.
It's fine, I forgot your name.
John. Austin?
Yep.
Nick.
You got it.
All right. I'm not usually good at
Dong
names.
Father.
But anyway, sorry to interrupt.
Because
Sarah.
I say so is just the way that she's been since arriving. It's like she earned everyone's support in Essos.
Yeah.
And now that she's in Westeros, it's more of, I'm Targaryen, give me everything.
And she's lost her patience.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's like a marathon speed game of Civilization.
Yeah.
You get to the end, and you lose your initial army, and you're like, fuck this. And you just start using everything that you have, and before you know it, you've extended too far, and you're losing.
All the people that she won by the way she did things. You know, the way she ran her campaign. This is the way that we're going to do things. That's what made the Dothraki, the Unsullied, that's what made everybody love her. And she's running out of patience. She gets to Westeros where she wants to rule, and all these people are like, you're coming to conquer us.
Well, at one point, she had completely given up on Westeros. She's like, I have it all here. I have my thing here. And then here comes Tyrion. Tyrion and Varys, like, hey.
It wasn't so much that she gave up on it. Is that she was very caught up.
Yeah.
She was severely caught up in...
Well, she also loved it over there. Like, people loved her. She had made a name for herself there. Like, why go be queen? Why? I'm already queen here. And I already have a people here.
Because that is who she is.
Yeah, you're right.
She said it to Jon. She said, my entire identity is coming back to Westeros to reclaim what is my family's. That is who she is.
And that way you worded that last line is where my theory on my theory that she would be okay with Jon having a claim all right. That's where my theory that she would not have a problem with Jon's claim rests upon. Mm-hmm. That this is what I want. I want to come and reclaim what is my family's, not mine, which is what she actually has begun to say.
It's mine.
Exactly. And that's an important but subtle distinction that we're watching play out in a negative way, a profoundly negative way.
And it's, there's so many things going on in terms of the way the world works. Cersei is going to have it be the same fucking way.
Yeah.
Or worse.
The North the North doesn't want to. They're the Texas. They just want to secede. The North doesn't want to be part of it. They're always trying to just get the fuck away.
When they're all, sorry to interrupt, even when they're all within the Seven Kingdoms and it's all this one unity thing, everybody that's not the North has nothing to do with them, and the North just kind of does their own thing and they leave them be until they need them for something. So the North has always just been kind of their own independent entity. And
they're building on this theme, the fucking first book of the series, Game of Thrones, is destroying the Game of Thrones.
Mm-hmm.
And Jon is the only one that gets it.
Yeah, he's the only one still trying to.
Dany is great. Dany's phenomenal. But she doesn't get that. Because Dany could come to the conclusion that, well, fuck, what am I wanting to do? I'm wanting to come back here and reclaim what is the Targaryens.
Break the wheel.
Break the wheel. What you can do is you could just unify these two extremely strong forces, the North and herself, and you could break the fucking wheel that you've been talking about breaking. This isn't a Game of Thrones anymore. It's not about me. It's not about Jon. It's about unifying the people.
It's about...
She isn't there yet. She's
not gonna be.
Yep.
It's about correcting and... I just lost that word. It's about making the realm one again.
And that is not her goal.
No,
that's nobody's goal.
She's already started down a path that I really don't think she's going to turn back on.
Yeah. Speaking of, there's only 2 episodes, 3 hours left, and you don't know how they're going to wrap it up, and you've stopped theorizing, you've stopped making guesses. I've not stopped theorizing or making guesses.
Well, I have a theory for next episode.
Me too. It's not happy.
No, it is not, and I already talked to you about it.
Right.
I don't know if we want to get into that territory yet. We still have the actual episode to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
I've just rearranged my starting point on theories, which is why do we have time left given the things that are already decided, and the things that are already decided are bad, not bad story writing necessarily, but bad for the characters.
Yeah,
bad for the plot.
I mean, we get this like the moment like I as a fan kind of faltered in my loyalty towards Dany was the talk she had with Jon.
This episode?
This episode was just stay quiet.
Yeah.
Like that is so selfish.
We can just go back to the way it was before this.
We could go back to the way it was.
About it.
Just don't tell anybody. Like you have way more claim than I do. Don't tell anybody. And that's like so damning to her. For us watching her.
She surrendered the moral high ground the second that conversation came to pass.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. Absolutely.
If
I agree with... we would be expecting the absolute best of her. For her to go along with Jon and just say, all right, let's let this play out. That's the absolute best she could do.
Yeah.
She doesn't do it. But she does have good intentions in that right.
She's seeing the rug being pulled out from below her.
But I think that it's not an absolutely terrible thing when she's just like, dude, if you tell people...
If you truly don't want to be king, then who gives a shit?
We're going to be...
I see that.
No, she says that it doesn't matter. She said, it doesn't matter, Jon. Because if the people find out, then they're going to say, there's...
No, that's what I'm saying is, like, if you don't give a shit about being the king, then don't say anything.
Sure, absolutely. And what does Jon do? Immediately goes and tells the one person that he knows.
To be fair, Bran kind of called him out.
No, he didn't.
No, but
Bran's like,
but I got to side with Jon on this because he's like, they're my family. They deserve to know, and that's who Jon is.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yes,
completely agree.
He is not Ned Stark's son, but
he is Ned.
Shit, he is Ned. He is honest to a fault. He should not have told Sansa. He shouldn't have. Because of the trouble it's going to cause.
See, I suspected as soon as that happened on screen that people would begin to blame Jon for what's going to come in the following episodes. And I've always had a problem with that personally because it's not Jon's fault for doing the right thing. It's Sansa's fault for being a fucking backstabbing cunt.
Just awful!
And,
She's
and
terrible.
Daenerys' fault for being a manipulative...
Oh, yeah, she's
obsessed.
Yeah.
But we're coming full... circle.
Yeah.
Jon is Ned. He's gonna make the right choice, and Jon is gonna die. He is because he is doing exactly what Ned did. He was honest to a fault. That is, I didn't actually think that until just now. We just arrived at that conclusion.
I got to mildly disagree with that. Ned wasn't completely honest because
he did lie for his children.
He lied for his sister's child.
Because if he told the truth, then the kid would get murdered.
Yes.
And that is his blood still.
And he also lied for his own children. Remember when he said that he invented the king's words himself before his execution? That way, his children would be spared.
Man, so when at work, I just get to run around and I put my headphones in. So I've been doing the audibles.
I get to run out around and listen to him.
So I just finished up the first Game of Thrones, and the moment Ned decides to play the game and he goes out there and lies in front of the gods, they kill him. He tried to play the fucking game and it didn't fucking work.
But John is unwillingly playing the game, but he is playing it with the wars and the battles he's fighting, but he is not lying once. And doing so, he's died. And what happened? The gods brought him back to life to keep on going.
The gods brought him back to life to lead the fight against the Night King. And now that the Night King's defeated, the Lord of Light seems to have totally fucked off.
Prince that is promised, though.
I think that was a red herring because the Long Night. First of all, the fact that the episode 3 was the Long Night, and now it's over. Yeah, it just bothers me. So like, it should still be winter.
They severely fucked up a lot of the prophecy shit.
Like, sure, there's no ice spiders roaming anymore, and that's fine. But it should still be snowing at least.
Sure. No, they're acting like Night King's dead, winter's gone.
Yeah, exactly. Winter is coming, and
shortest winter ever.
Now I'm going.
Maybe the Night King isn't gone.
That's a thought that I've had, but I don't have any supporting evidence for it.
I got some weird supporting evidence.
He's got some really weird. But
we got Twitter.
Let's dive into this episode more.
Yeah, before we start getting into theories, because that's what I'm dying to talk about.
That's a rabbit hole. That's a rabbit hole.
We're scooting along. So let's see.
So how'd this episode start again?
With the funeral pyres.
Yeah.
The funeral pyres. And it
was
coming in and really just focusing in on all these like main characters, these people that just really just not only did like fans and watchers all fall in love with, but the other main characters fall in love with, and just all the journeys we've seen them and like went with them through are just now gone and being laid to rest.
One of whom was definitely Danny's tether to not being an emotionally driven, purposed individual, but rather a
moral
logical
center.
Yeah.
Like Jorah was absolutely the one that kept her like sane like this whole time. Like Jorah wasn't there when she went and attacked the Lannister army, and what happened? Those who wouldn't bend the knee got burned down. Just felt her wrath, and that's what she went. But every other time he's been there, like when he curves her worst intentions. Yeah, he immediately like turns her and makes her go, "Wait, that's not who I am. That's not what I'm trying to be." But now that he's gone, I'm assuming she's gonna start going towards her,
So
more like her father, like she's been moving towards without him.
I have mixed feelings about the use of the dragons in combat, because it is war, and it is the opposing army. They weren't prisoners of war. They weren't civilians. They were actively in a battle.
Yep.
And I don't view that as Mad Queen behavior.
Nope.
Now, the burning of the Tarleys, I still don't innately condemn to being Mad Queen behavior because of the nature of they're given a chance, then they're given another chance.
To be fair, they were given an option.
They weren't fucked. They just refused to go along.
Flat out refused to bend the knee.
But
I really gave Dick on a chance.
There was so much more she could have done otherwise. She could have just taken them as prisoners. It's not like they didn't have the room or the means to do so.
Fair enough.
It was completely a full-on option, but instead she burned them.
It was a message.
We have never had a peaceful coup. It doesn't exist. And Dany's trying. She thought she was going to walk into Westeros and just talk her way to the throne. Be the dragon.
They actually have been.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to fucking kill some people, Dany. You are not just gonna walk in and say, "Hey, Cersei, it's kind of my throne. Can I have it back?" Bitch, you're gonna have to fucking kill some people.
Absolutely.
And she wasn't there for so long. So I agree with the Tarly thing being like, guys, please bend the knee. No. please, you really need to do it or you're gonna die. Not doing it. All right, fuck you guys.
I gotta reflect on the Mad King a little bit when what he was doing before the whole Robert's Rebellion and everything. Like everybody that opposed him, burn him. Burn them, burn them.
Oh, and the nature...
He was burning everybody that disagreed with him or just went against him in any way. He immediately burned them all. And that's what people were starting to call him the Mad King for, because he just burned everybody. Then he started ranting about it, going on in a madness about burn them all, burn everything.
I think in the books we're going to find that Bran Hodored him.
There's a theory that Brynden Rivers Hodored him.
I think that's going to happen. They're not going to play that out in the show.
Oh, no.
But, So, this is a great conversation. We're having a terrible time staying on topic, but really enjoying it. So, let's see. Everyone's telling Jon how fucking great he is. Danny's clearly getting upset
I
by
love
it.
that Great Hall, like, just everybody getting along and having a great time, and that Tormund story.
Yes.
Like, while he's just praising him. He went north, and he won over the wildlings. He won over the north. He died standing up for who he was, and he was brought back, and he still keeps fighting.
They didn't touch on that at all. Not like you think Danny would have gone, wait a minute, what did you just? You died.
But
they've touched
did
on
you
it
see
2
the
or 3
look?
times. Now.
Did you see the look
I really want.
she had.
She's
her
looking.
know.
No, they acted like she
saw
heard.
she saw his scars.
Like
but
when
they never said anything. Like we ever going to address
when
the
Sir
fact that
Davos
you died?
first said it, like she's like, "What do you mean by that?" And then she sees his scars, and she's like, "You see this kind of look," and then in that Tormund praising him, calling, "This is a true king." Like before that, she was just kind of like it. She kind of had this look like, "Oh wait."
She's jealous because he is her parallel. He did the same thing she did. He went and did good things and got people to love him for it.
I think there's more nuance to it. Not much, but some more nuance to it than that. I think that what you were saying before about how before the use of the word king, she had this whole like, oh no, my poor Jon look. Like an interest in the story. And then the use of the word king and the just the overwhelming obviousness and in her faceness of the fact that he is a rival whether they want it or not, then it hardened to fuck this.
It's definitely an interesting image seeing all these people surrounding Jon, drinking and having a good time, and then seeing all the people out at the tables drinking and having a good time, and they all know each other, they're all enjoying each other, and then you got Danny off in the corner
With
all by
her
herself.
With her
Damn it,
Starbucks.
she took it from me, but yeah, she's just sitting there.
I was just about to go there. The imagery of everybody's there, and you even see not just the people, the Northerners. You also see Unsullied. You also see Dothraki, and everybody's joining in, and they're all like united amongst each other. And there's Jon right there being praised as this is a true king, and there's Dany secluded by herself in her own little island.
And I sympathize with her.
Yeah.
Because they would have all fucking died without her. She came and she could have just stayed back and dealt with Cersei, but she went and helped them. And she knows that fucking Jon's super appreciative, but Jon's sister, Jon's family, Jon's people, none of them like her. And she's like, Jesus, I'm doing good things. But at the heart of it, she is coming to take over.
So even in the event that Jon did not have a legitimate Targaryen ancestry, they were still going to end up married. And in Westeros, we're talking about a Renaissance culture. A male-led patrilineal monarchy here. He's, as I believe it was Jaime that said cocks are important.
Yeah.
Indeed.
No, that was Varys.
Varys.
Yeah. Varys to Tyrion.
The cockless wonder.
Or what? No.
So even without that legitimacy, he would still end up as the king to her queen. And nothing has changed. If she had taken the time to realize that not a thing has changed, we wouldn't be in this mess.
That is the one message that I have been harping on about this episode, is after the long night, after you dealt with this existential threat, nothing changed.
Nothing changed.
No one has changed at all. It's
Except
like,
for her.
And she's
changed, and you can tell the whole demeanor and the way, the whole morale of everybody that's still up and alive has changed and how they're like even more strongly behind Jon than they are her. They're very thankful for her for coming there and bringing extra like armies and stuff, but
then she's immediately trying to thrust him into another battle.
Immediately,
and
like
that's the one fucking decent thing Sansa said. Like, can we fucking let these guys
Can
chill?
we give
for
them
a
a
minute?
rest?
That's what I've been saying all week.
You know what they're doing? You know what the Lannisters are doing? Hiding in King's Landing.
They're not. They're not
coming.
They're
not coming for
There
you.
are no more men. You can't gather a larger force without more chests of gold, which Cersei doesn't have.
And they're not coming. The Lannisters aren't coming for you.
No, they're turtling right
now.
Yeah.
Sitting in the castle.
Turtling, exactly.
Take a week or two, and people are arguing. Remember, Rhaegal got his ass kicked.
Yeah.
And then you try to fly him in, and he got fucking killed.
Right, so
yeah,
R.I.P. Rhaegal.
Yeah, R.I.P. Rhaegal. No, he's the one that he is the one that fought the Night King's
dragon.
Viserion. He fought the undead Viserion, and if to rewind back a little bit, how everybody's saying they wouldn't have survived without Dany. Well, her bringing dragons there is the reason the Night King had a dragon and had a means to take down the wall, and then
excellent point.
He would not have been able to get past the wall without a dragon. So,
well, he could have,
and
it would have been much slower going.
And you know,
and there's rumors
they always had Arya, and Arya is the one that took down the Night King. So, what did she really do other than arm him with more people like the Dothraki that all went and got wiped out, and a fucking dragon?
There's rumors of ancient magics being built into the base of the ice wall, so it's not certain that he could have crossed without the dragons. That is a good point.
Yeah, Dragonfire could.
Yes, they definitely are talking about a magical aspect to the wall.
Because they never even came close or marched beyond the woods. Because when in the very first episode with there in the north, beyond the wall, there's the White Walkers just within the forest. But they never went beyond the forest towards the wall. They were always held back. And that was kind of one of the things where it was like that open tundra right there was like the exceeding barrier of the magic resistance field. And the White Walkers couldn't proceed past that until the wall itself was able to be broken down. Even the White Walkers themselves, when the Night King and them all marched in, and before he took down the wall, they were all still way back, just at the edge of that tundra. Then he broke it down, and it wasn't until it completely collapsed down, you could kind of tell that they were just kind of like released. They were suddenly no longer bound back. They were released and able to march down. So that very well could have been like the one key thing that the Night King needed to be able to march south.
Do you remember that stupid little theory thing? I don't even know what the theory was. But
Bran is Palpatine.
Do it. Do it.
Do it.
At the very last thing you see at the end of season 7, all the walkers, the whites walking across the wall, and they somehow form the Stark sigil.
Yeah,
that was silly.
Yeah, to put it not.
Everyone's like, "What's it mean?"
Did you notice that the guys from Mastodon made another appearance again?
Again?
Yeah, they right there at the crossing of the wall. They were there.
Yes. Okay, I saw that.
So there.
That's why I thought the first time.
First time was actually up north when Jon fought the Night King and killed the first White Walker.
Yeah, hard home.
That was the very first episode they made.
Yeah, I immediately noticed Brent Hines.
Another cameo that I didn't catch. When Tormund really starts going off praising Jon, and it goes to a couple wildlings, it's the show writers.
Yes.
I didn't catch that.
So, on the topic of Daenerys being on her own little corner and making emotional decisions now, not based upon logic, the whole going by sea thing, splitting the forces up and going by sea, is an excellent example of that.
Do we need one more glass?
Do you even want this?
I'll take a small sip. All right. Just the number of glaring and egregious errors made by Daenerys in this episode is mind-numbing.
She's a terrible battle commander.
Abso-fucking-lutely. And so, everyone in the army, all the armies combined, and all the leadership of the armies is fully the fuck aware that the Ironborn are just roaming the seas with impunity with over 1,000 ships. 1,000 Ironborn ships plus whatever Lannister ships and Tarly ships and other ships they had available. And there's not a single reason in the goddamn world to get on a boat when you can walk to King's Landing. But she wants space. Because of the issues going on that we've been talking about. And she wants to ride her dragon and, go off on her thing, right? Fucking without following the one piece of genuine friendly advice that was given to her by Sansa. Rhaegal's dead now, it's your fault. And fucking Missandei's dead now, it's your fault. And
that's
you've
your
lost
name, Missandei, sorry.
Miranda thought Grey Worm was yelling Miss Sunday.
Fucking hate the way that the directors pronounce her name in the behind the scenes.
Missandei.
Yeah, God.
In the books, in the audiobooks, some name like Melisandre is Melisande. Melisande.
Makes sense.
It's like,
I mean, it's
what about the R? I don't know.
No, I mean,
Man,
it's
look at all
silent.
that
It's
head on
French.
that.
Oh.
That's a good point.
Oh.
All right.
Melisandre.
To the king in the north.
To the king of the north.
The King of the North!
That's why I'm so strong.
Hopefully, I can even get to it.
Ooh.
Ooh. Oh my God, that is so good.
Right?
I want to trade cups back.
Nope. Too late. Goodness, that's tasty. Chocolatey.
Oh, don't pour too fast.
Tell me when.
Whenever you're ready. I'm not saying when. That was too good.
The foam was delicious.
All right,
That was your own fault, sir.
I know.
Oh, basically, that was the number one poor decision made this episode was going by sea, and there was no need to go to Dragonstone first at all. You don't even need to address the navy or the naval aspect of laying siege to King's Landing at first because you have the dragons. Excuse me, and the likelihood that you're going to be in a long and protracted siege is very low. You don't need to worry about supply lines into the city from the harbor. Now, if you're going to set up a siege camp and do a long, slow siege, then yes, at that point, you need to worry about the naval supply lines. But that wasn't the fucking plan.
No.
It never was. So why in the hell are you at the sea where you are at a severe disadvantage? Why the fuck is your cavalry embarked? They fear the poison water. They can't swim. They're dead. All of them.
Yeah.
Like,
why would you
What the
split
fuck?
your army up to march south? And even better, as I have been raving on about on social media this week, why didn't she fly behind them and burn them down? They
didn't.
They were close-quartered ships between two cliffs.
They didn't see him.
Yeah,
Why didn't they send scouts?
Yeah, why didn't you send scouts ahead? Why weren't you flying high enough to where you can observe your surroundings and catch what's coming on?
to quote the fucking directors, Daenerys kind of forgot about the Iron Fleet, which has become a meme, by the way, and it's hilarious.
But afterwards, after
They just keep appearing.
after they killed Rhaegon, he went down and she turned away and was flying away and got out of the range of them. Why didn't she come around behind them?
Easily could have.
Because she could have done that, because that would have put them in between her fleet of ships and a fucking dragon. Yeah, I've had one person, they turned 360. I was like, what are they going to do? Shoot through their sails on their own ships? They were all full-mast ships going straight forward.
And do they turn 360?
The one that Bronn was using during the Lannister battle.
They do, but they're at the front of the ship.
They're at the front of the ship.
The mast and the sails.
So they can't shoot directly behind them because they have the mast and sails and the head of the ship. They have all that behind them.
we just
And then those ships are so close quartered, they can't just turn on their own. They have They have to turn in their own thing. So all she had to do is fly behind them, and then suddenly the Iron Fleet is gone, just gone.
Euron's Iron Fleet.
Can we fucking
Why did that not happen? That was the most infuriating part of the episode for me. It's like, why didn't she fly behind them? She was so enraged, ready to just burn them down, and.
Nope, just run away.
No, I'm going to run away and let my entire fleet get slaughtered.
You're charging them head on, shoot hard to one side, swing up, and lay fucking fire.
Lay fire. What are you going to do?
They can't reload that fast.
And those, by the
they
looks of
can't.
those, they weren't even as advanced as the one Bronn was using when she
No, these are
first-
actually more advanced.
more.
They're making the argument that they're
Yeah,
more
they've had
powerful.
time to improve upon them.
Yeah.
But
And those they're nasty.
They're
looking.
They
bigger.
looked nasty, but it still looked, they had a height range to them. They peaked at a certain level, because you're gonna lose.
Which that's something I'm going to talk about.
She could have went high enough up and just came.
That is something I'm going to talk about.
Mr. Nick Maxon said, "Come straight down on top of them with absolute dragon fire."
Scorpions and ballistae have a fucking force limit. You cannot fire one such that the projectile can cross 1,000 fucking meters and then burst the hell through a ship like that with the force of a modern naval artillery gun. Like, that's not. That should not have been happening, and it was upsetting to watch it happen.
It's one thing
to argue. You would know the physics.
Yeah, and seeing
it's one thing to argue the battle tactics, but when they're doing something like that, where it's like that just doesn't. Just doesn't work.
No,
Danny's dumb and should have done this.
Yes,
but that you're like, okay,
and
guys.
even taking down Rhaegar with that such distance and all that, like I can see it would have hit him and hurt him, like. But that chest shot was should have been the least damaging one. It should have hit him and brought him off. And hitting him in the wing, I agree with that. But the way they had him react against that initial shot and just like stopping and floating instead of like immediately reacting and trying to get away was just awful.
It's very counter to the nature of the dragons that we've seen
or the nature of any animal at all. Like,
exactly.
Like the animalistic nature of like an animal just reacting and immediately trying to get away from something. Like you see it all over nature. Like humans are the worst about it. You see a human get hurt and they just want to curl up and die right there.
I mean, have you ever tried to shoot a deer?
Any other animal, as soon as they're just hit, they're immediately like bolting, getting the fuck out of there. They're just gone. And it's just this sporadic, just getting the fuck out. And we've all seen how the dragon can move and just go. Like they're huge fucking creatures, but they can still move and maneuver great. Yeah, he got hit by that. Yeah, he got hit in the chest, and by the way he was flying, he was clearly not just dropping from that one. It wasn't until he got the neck shot.
Yeah, the neck shot really fucked him.
They shot 3 times, and it was immediately boom, boom, boom.
Well, the one went right through his fucking neck.
Yeah.
That was one of the most. I don't usually like to bitch about the story and the way they decide to do things, but fuck, that is how you're gonna kill one of these dragons. Like
3 for 3 and then 0 for 20.
Yeah, hey, let's
just garbage.
Let's make it look like these dragons are absolutely useless now. When everybody's been shitting their pants nonstop ever since they saw him. Even Cersei, you could tell in her character and her demeanor when she saw him, she was like quivering. Like you could see she was super tense and thought, I'm gonna die here. And why didn't Danny kill her at that time?
She's fucking dumb.
They were there and they could have just burned them all.
Well,
because Danny's not a very
good do you really want to get into that, or do you want to
I don't. I don't really want to get.
Okay, I say it's the nature of meeting under the white flag and all blah 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 blah. Next,
breaking the wheel. Next.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fuck the white flag. We're just gonna burn them.
Yeah, that's
break the
you
wheel.
Do that once. And
you're
no
breaking the wheel
again.
wrong.
You're not breaking the wheel the right way. You're
like
supposed to do peg by peg. You're not just supposed to smash it.
Peg
but anyway, let's get away from the what ifs.
Let's talk about the fucking treason abound. Varys and Tyrion, everyone is jumping ship.
But technically, it is not treason if Jon is the true heir.
Okay, we don't have to argue about the
treason aspect.
Varys is fucking dead.
The idea that they're all saying, "Well, fuck, maybe Dany isn't the one." Like, okay, boys, god damn.
I see where they're coming from though. Like that whole aspect where they're like, man,
politicians.
That's like they're totally doing the politician thing. Like I love it when Sansa actually gives it up and Tyrion's like this, and you can tell there's that weariness about the way Dany is going about things. Or like, man, she's like completely just kind of just all or nothing, burn them down, just not the leader that she was presented us to be. Like she's supposed to be this kind, caring, loving person, but all she's saying is bend the knee or burn. And
if she's the kind, loving, caring person that she is a lot of the time, then she's gonna lose.
Can I say that I thought Missandei was going to be executed by crossbow scorpion bolt from behind the wall? And I was really like,
I thought she was going to get shoved off.
Brutal.
Just launched.
I thought. She was get
into
off.
Pieces.
No, just hit with that and launched, and her body just hits the middle of the Unsullied and like takes out like 6 of them.
And it is like impaled into the ground, like you can't like retrieve. Yeah, that's what I was expecting.
She was totally Miss Andre kebab.
Why didn't they kebab Danny?
Yeah.
Yeah, they had every opportunity right there. They had all these scorpions.
She had
white flag,
and right there. She had every opportunity to just wipe out Danny, the Unsullied, the dragon, everything right there.
Yeah, Cersei doesn't have any sense of honor.
Yeah,
that
Cersei
is
has no sense of honor or the games of or the the proper rules of war and all that. Like she's proven time and time again that she's going to use whatever means necessary to.
But she also likes the game of it.
That's true too.
She likes the thrill.
And she likes to prove that she's right and she's the smartest.
Yes,
which is true.
yeah.
Ignoring relative distances that are immediately obvious to the naked eye, it's argued that they're out of range. Now, that's clear bullshit.
Oh, no, the way Rhaegon got taken down,
exactly.
He's further out of range than
but
those.
That's
and
the
they had
argument,
to shoot
though.
up towards them.
Or at least, that's my understanding.
And in this shot, they have to shoot down.
And the plot hole widens.
Yep. No, I ignore all those little tiny things, and I just enjoy the show.
You have to.
I'm fully enjoying the show. I'm like really excited for what's coming up next.
Are you?
So what's up with fucking Jamie and Brienne?
Ooh.
Finally fucking
Ghosted her.
No, I love that part. I love that part because that was
so
full
bad.
Jamie. That part was great. Like everybody's like, I was even like on board for a while until I stopped and thought like, oh no, Jamie's actually being the Jamie we all hoped and wanted him to be when he was traveling with Brienne, and like they're all naked in the tub together, and she's like showing herself off, and then like remembers who she is, and like gets back down in there, and he's all like nubbing it with his fucking fake hand.
Did we watch different versions?
Arguably. Do you guys think?
Sorry.
I mean, you were just talking about masturbating.
I got off key a little bit, but no, like everybody's all like, "Oh no, Jamie went up north. He's not the fucking terrible piece of shit we all thought he was." But he has always stated, "I love her, and no matter what, I'll always be at her side. I'm always there. It's always me and her, no matter what." Even when he was talking with Tyrion earlier this season, when Tyrion's like, "Oh no, she's a terrible thing," he's all like, "Yes." He goes, "Yeah." He surprises all of us, and Tyrion says, "You've always known she's been that," and he just kind of was like,
Did you guys see the meme where it's like, "I'm a terrible person. I pushed a kid out of a tower. I sold out Lily and James Potter to the Death Eaters. I told Darth Vader where."
So an argument.
I gave Thanos the Infinity Stones.
For what's going on with Jamie, when he saw the existential threat of the White Walkers, that is what made him go like, "Cersei, seriously, like we have to go deal with this." And she was like, "Nope." And it made him go,
"Well, if she's not
I'm
going
a decent fucking person, and I want to go deal with this." Now that threat's out of the way, and the focus is we're going to kill Cersei, he's relapsing. I don't see it that way. I see it as Cersei. These White Walkers are going to come and kill us all. You're going to die. We're all going to die. Our child in your belly is going to die. And she's like, "I don't care. No, they're not. I still don't believe it. Even though if they make it down here, we'll stop them." And he's like, "You're wrong. I need to go stop this because I need to protect you and my child at all costs. And I'm going to go up here and do this. And now that I'm up here and I'm doing this, while I'm pleading to stay up here and fight for you and give you the information to prove that I'm here to help, Brienne backs me up, and I'm reminded of our time traveling while I was a prisoner with you." And so that's a little spark infumes there. You get this Jamie thing, and then now that threat's gone, and now there's a threat on Cersei again, he goes, "I got to go home and protect Cersei and my child again. Because I'm done protecting them up here."
I agree with the beginning, almost all of the beginning, and then the very end. But there in the middle, I think that it was also part that he liked the emotional catharsis of being the good guy. He enjoyed it, and he enjoyed unburdening his conscience. And then his drug came back into the play, and he had to fucking go.
And oh my God,
Get a bump.
Cersei is the best high he has ever had.
Which I really, really want Jamie's story arc to end well, but I'm very set on the show ending with no one getting it. Nobody gets it. So do I want Jamie to go and be a good guy? Yes. Am I going to be surprised if at the end of the day, Jamie is the bad guy that he was in the beginning and all his good shit meant for naught and he was a bad guy the whole time? I'm not going to be surprised. I want Jamie to be a good guy, but I'm very set on the idea that nobody is going to learn anything.
I don't know about that. I would say that not enough people are going to learn anything. Definitely. But nobody, I feel to be a stretch because I think I have hopes for John. They're not what I had originally hoped for him at all. But I have hopes that he will find retirement in a way.
John gets it.
John
Right.
gets it.
John absolutely gets it. Danny doesn't get it.
Right.
Jamie gets it.
Cersei
but
definitely
he
doesn't get it.
refuses to go with it.
Jamie might
totally
get
gets it, but he's all like, "Man, I love that heroine named Cersei, so I'm going to do this."
Which
I love you
is
guys,
fucking
but
boo.
I'm totally going to steal your TV and sell
is
it for some
boo.
smack.
Fuck that. I don't like that shit at all. When you've got he does George Martin and then these guys in the show, they've done such a good job of making just an amazing cast of characters.
Mm-hmm.
And they've just done such a great job of making John such a great character that he makes everyone look bad. John just gets it.
That's not a bad theory.
But I
John
got
just gets it. And then you see all these people that just don't fucking get it, and they're bad people, and they make bad choices for the wrong reasons.
I mean, that's sort of the
I
point.
like-
It's
that's-
supposed to be
that's why-
real.
I like
right.
the whole Jamie thing where he gets it, but he's got his vice.
Right.
He's got this full vice that is Cersei that he cannot let go of, and it's gonna be the burden of his life. Like, it's either gonna come down to the end, everybody's dead but him, and he sits on the throne.
I can't believe that we're 8 seasons deep and we're still arguing about whether or not Cersei is a good person.
No,
Oh,
Cersei's
yeah.
a bad person. We
Tyrion-
all agree.
Tyrion at the end of the episode is walking up trying to remind her that she's okay. I'm like,
Hey,
no,
but
she's
he-
not.
baby, Euron's
Baby.
like,
Right.
Yeah.
Like, Tyrion should not
I
fucking know
love
about
that look.
baby.
I love that look. I talk to people about it at work. There's a couple guys I talk to at work about Game of Thrones, and I talked to them about that. I was like, man, I love that Euron's look where he's like, huh?
because you know
there's-
that meme where
because
it's like the math
Right.
and theorem
The
start
math
appearing.
thing just. But you could tell, like, he's believing that that's his baby, that she's got him doing that, and then here comes Tyrion talking about your child, your baby, and he
How the
goes,
fuck does he know?
how the fuck would he know
He's just got really good eyesight. He can see the bump.
that you have a child within you if you've never been around, we've never been in contact since he fucked her?
Do you think that Euron could turn?
Tyrion is force sensitive, confirmed.
Absolutely. I totally see Euron turning. I totally see
Yeah.
that.
Really?
I don't.
Yeah, because I see Jamie showing up and trying to plead with
Them having
Cersei.
a bro moment at a hockey game.
No, not that. I see him pleading with Cersei about their child together, their child that she's carrying, and Euron being there,
So,
like in the shadows, listening. Because Euron's always that sneaky guy, kind of trying to look for that. I can totally
I can see him turning, and I don't know if he'll turn directly or turn and abandon.
I can see him like just turning and abandoning.
Yeah, because he's like, fuck this. I have the whole
Because
world.
he's not going to be like, well, I'm not going to just like.
I have the whole ocean.
Euron's a
I am the sea.
proper fucking dickbag. He's not gonna.
Proper.
He's not gonna do anything that would be considered remotely sane.
We've needed a
And-
guy like that. Like
Absolutely.
Ramsey was kind of that way.
Yeah,
Like,
absolutely.
Wild card.
Euron is
But-
chaos.
Wild card.
There's also I do not believe that Jaime's gonna reach Cersei. At least not
No.
until the battle is such chaos that they can't keep tabs on anything anymore.
All right.
Excuse me. Go ahead.
Pivot a little bit on that subject. In the trailer for the next episode, when there's a scene of the Golden Company walking through the city, and there's somebody with a black cloth over their head in the middle of them. They're escorting somebody. There's a lot of talk about who that might be. Could be Jaime. Jaime could have just walked right up to the fucking doors. And they're like, okay, we can't fucking kill him, but...
I mean, they totally can, and here's why. That's the meme I was talking about. That
Meme.
kind of forgot.
I don't know this.
I'll show it to you. There's so much to say about this potential here. I don't think that Jaime's going to reach Cersei, at least not at first. I think he's going to be detained by the army ringing the city because they're gonna know that he stayed north. What the fuck's he doing south?
They're gonna think treachery.
Exactly, and they're gonna be fucking right.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And
that is one of my dream theories.
right.
He is the Kingslayer and the Queenslayer. My perfect ending for Jaime is him killing Cersei. I don't see it happen. I don't know if it's gonna happen.
Him killing Cersei, like somehow being able to just try to talk to her, and then
he makes it.
His golden hand turns into a blade, and he kills her.
I don't know about
Assassin's
that.
Knowing,
Creed style?
like he straight up like kills her, and then the fucking mountain comes and kills him, so they die in this fucking bittersweet. Fucking Romeo and Juliet
halfway through the
bullshit.
match, it turns into a handicap with Arya jumping from a tower.
See, I've heard that theory before as well this week talking at work, and I gotta say that I believe it was Mike that said that. I gotta say I disagree. I think it's gonna be the Hound versus the Mountain, 1-on-1 combat, and I think it's gonna kill them both.
Yeah.
That's one of the weird ones. Like I've got what I want.
I think it's gonna be handicapped.
I want Arya to get one more big kill.
Oh, I'm sure she will.
Because
Cersei
Cersei has
on
blue
her
eyes.
list, the only ones I'm thinking of are the Mountain and Cersei.
Yep.
And I want the Hound to kill the Mountain, and I want Jaime to kill.
So you're
Cersei.
trying to pick who you want.
So
But
that's-
I want Arya to kill one of the people on her list.
So
that's
we need a
why.
clone.
Yeah, I'm
I
having a hard
think-
time figuring out what I want.
That's why I think that the Clegane Bowl is going to end up being a handicap match where, yeah, sure, it starts off Clegane versus Clegane. However,
Gain
I think
squared.
Hound is going to end up
the Mountain gives
on the ropes.
the Mountain gives the Hound a devastating blow.
Yeah.
Down on his knees.
Here comes
And
Arya.
maybe there's something left in him that he Oberons the Hound, and he tries to talk to him for 1 minute, like, "Oh, little brother, you thought." And in that moment, you get another Night King moment.
That's
where Arya
poetic
just-
justice.
Yep.
That's poetic. Just, I mean, they're making it a point that
No,
Arya and
I just
Hound are
got it.
teaming up.
The adventures of the Hound.
I got it.
Yeah.
The Hound and Mountain doing their thing, and the Hound is down on the knees, sword down, and the Mountain's about to take him, and Arya doing her many face thing suddenly is no longer the person Cersei, suddenly there, kills Cersei, which distracts the Mountain, and the Hound takes him down in the process, but dies because he's already mortally wounded.
I definitely want another faceless. I want a face swap with Arya.
Yeah, got to do it again, or maybe even Arya Mercy's kills him because she left him for dead before.
Ooh, Arya Mercy.
That's not
Does
bad.
Mercy kill the Hound?
That's
That'd
not a
be a
bad
good
thought.
one.
That'd be great
Yeah.
because the Hound gets the Mountain, but the Hound is sitting there just bleeding out, dying, and asks her to kill him again, and she Mercy kills him after she killed Cersei.
I'd be okay with that.
All right, so
So-
Daenerys, you think she's gonna live or die?
Die.
Same.
Die.
Now, I would have argued that to hell and back with you a week ago, but now I agree.
Pod Daddy Nate Phillips in the comments. Arya will wear Jaime's face to kill Cersei, fulfilling both prophecies.
I've talked about that before, that she's going to wear Jaime's face. But
See, I don't think so. He needs to die then.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but
In order for
I
that
mean,
to
I
happen.
feel like that's also on the table. That is happening independent of her, even.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that we are able to not know. I love that there are so many different ways that they could do this poetic justice to all these storylines, and so many things make sense.
I would
Yeah.
say
I could see, go ahead.
I was
cutting
going to
you
say
off.
that I've been saying for a while now that I want to try this chair out. One of the
Ooh.
great strengths of Game of Thrones
You
is
could just move to his mic.
that it leaves room for doubt in almost
Look
everything.
at that guy.
Yeah.
He's
So,
fucking working it like a pro.
There are obvious things that are being hinted towards and suggested all throughout the story from the beginning of episode 1, season 1 to now. However, there is always just enough room for doubt that you can talk yourself into believing just about fucking anything
Yep.
you want. And that is masterful storytelling.
Because you know what I want? Another fun one is the extent of
He's got an ass pillow and it's uncomfortable.
of
Just throw it away.
Brand's warging.
Just get rid of his hemorrhoid pillow.
He did the Hodor. Brand did the Hodor thing.
Right.
I don't feel like introducing that's a crazy thing to introduce. Is his ability to move into a person and fuck them up from 20 years
or more.
Whatever the fuck happened.
Right.
That was like a 40-year jump.
And you know that I argued forever. I thought that Bran was going I thought Bran was going to do it to the Night King.
Sorry. I got rid of your ass pillow. It was weird.
Don't forget your mic.
So, I want Arya.
Thank you.
I want Arya to face swap somebody. I want Bran to warg somebody, but
Warg, that's that word. I've been.
Whereas with Arya, there's a lot of different options. I'm having a hard time coming up with who Bran could warg to change.
I could see Arya being her hand.
So you're saying it's possible
Arya
remotely,
could fucking face swap her
strictly
hand.
theoretically, that Bran could warg into Arya, kill present Bran, wear his face as Arya, and be a walking Bran again.
Absolutely, sure.
Fan theory.
Why not?
Well, I could, as I was just side talking Nick, that some of you might have heard. I could totally see Arya killing the hand of Cersei.
Qyburn is a sick
Qyburn.
fuck.
Ooh,
And then
I like it.
face swapping that to get close to Cersei.
I like it.
And then boom.
I really like it.
I like that.
I like it a lot.
I don't know.
I like it.
For the record, it's not an ass pillow.
Oh,
It's
it's an ass
lumbar
pillow.
support.
We've already named it.
It's lumbar support.
It's
I'm not
a
sitting directly
hemorrhoid
on
hump.
it.
Did you see the Secret Labs just put out a line of Game of
Yes,
Thrones?
yes,
I'm
they
thinking
did.
of getting one.
If I didn't already have this, I would definitely be all
But
about
what
that
are your top
Targaryen.
3 face swaps for Arya to get close to Cersei?
Oh man, I haven't even thought about face
Drogon?
swapping. I've just thought about her just being a badass.
Yeah, but who do you think would actually be able to get close? There's no way.
Qyburn is. I think
Qyburn?
Qyburn, absolutely.
Qyburn is the one she could get the closest to, if not Jaime. Other than that, there's nobody that could.
I don't want Jaime.
The
dying
mountain
like that.
post Clegane Bowl.
Isn't there still?
But
Ooh.
no, she could do it to people that are alive because, as they have shown, you can face swap people that are still alive.
Who?
When
Where? How?
did they show that?
Yeah.
Yeah,
man.
and then during her training, what's his name?
Jaqen?
Jaqen Hagar? Sexy
Jaqen
Jesus
Hagar. He died, but was already face swapped with the girl that was already alive.
I don't think so. I don't think that's right.
man?
Because
Would
she
that-
never died, and then she suddenly became him.
Yeah.
And that means that was
He's
a face
right.
swap.
He's right.
But
she
Jaqen
never
Hagar
di-
is dead. Jaqen Hagar is just a face he wears. We don't know who he is originally. Jaqen
But they
Hagar
were
could,
both there together.
Jaqen Hagar could be the woman that you're discussing.
Actually, yeah, you have a good, proper argument. But she did see her own face in front of her while pulling faces.
I mean, they also
Right
magically
before
made
she
her-
went blind,
Yeah.
she saw her own face.
But she went blind via magic and then went unblind also via magic. There's a lot on the table
Yeah.
here that doesn't have to make sense.
Night King moving towards Bran.
Don't fart. But no, like, she did see the face swap when she's pulling faces. She saw her own face, and that's what freaked her out, and she went blind seeing her own face. Which very well could be the
Yingling,
magic
anti-hero,
of the
Alpha
many-face
King.
God, that if you see your own face, you lose your sight. You're blinded by the sight of yourself.
It could. You're right. It's just not been
Which,
mentioned before.
which
makes
actually
me
makes
dubious.
sense with the many-face God, is that if you actually see the God himself, you lose sight of faces.
We are in a hole.
Yeah, we have found ourselves at
What else do we? What else
Sorry,
do we
I
have?
love
No, it's
I
fine.
love crazy
There-
fucking deep rabbit
so
hole
used to-
theories.
Oh, I've got
Adjusting
one for you.
that it wasn't here.
Started as a fucking joke.
Oh,
but
but sorry to interrupt,
no.
but no, my deep many-face God theory is that they've been after her this whole time. Like, her dancing instructor was Jaqen.
Yep, that's a good theory. I've seen that.
And
before.
that
Yeah,
Syrio
was
was the
the faceless
faceless man training her because, as if you remember, Ned said, I found a instructor that suddenly came across us looking for
First hand of Bravos.
So
the first hand of Bravos that was traveling and looking for students, and came to King's Landing and talked to Ned, looking for students who happened to have a little girl
I don't
looking
know
for
if he was
training.
looking for students.
all right. Do you remember what I told you I wanted to talk about this episode? That there's not going to be time to talk about this episode. My theory about the Lord of Light being firmly within Camp Targaryen.
Being who?
I
Targaryen.
have a very long argument that can be very well argued. To
There's a toilet just on yonder.
Why'd you whisper it into the mic?
that's a good question.
Where's the bathroom? You might as well just fucking.
Hey, I gotta go pee.
You might as well have like Dark Knight. Where's the bathroom? Where's the bathroom?
Seriously, where is it?
It's in the corner, underneath the stairs.
Okay, so I'm gonna try to abbreviate the fuck out of this because I don't want to spend a lot of time on it. But I promise you, some other time I can defend this down to the very minute details. I think that Lord of Light is firmly within Camp. I did think the Lord of Light was firmly within Camp Targaryen. I now must amend it to mean firmly within Camp Targaryen as a means to an end.
Are you saying Targaryen or Stargaryen?
Targaryen.
Thank you.
As a means to an end for the defeat of the Night King. He's not actually on their team. They're just his instruments.
Yeah.
But this Syrio Forel being a faceless man falls easily in line with the rest of that theory, and I definitely think that it makes a lot of sense as a possibility, not as a concrete thing.
I think he is. I think based off of the books and the shit that I've watched, I absolutely think Syrio is a faceless man.
And absolutely. All right. I want to move on off of this, or else I'll get stuck talking about it.
So I have a theory.
Go ahead.
There's TP down here, and it was good TP, by the way, Nick.
I forgot about that TP.
Did one of you suffer earlier needlessly?
Yeah. Nick had to use a half a roll of bad TP.
In the next episode, the preview for the next episode, we see the sun, and we see just the faintest sliver of a dragon coming down, and you hear the screeches and roars. I think
the stone dragons of Dragonstone, or the babies of Drogon.
The stone dragons of Dragonstone. You
Or-
think Drogon's gonna drop them like bombs?
Let's go back
Or the
300
dragons
years.
dwelling beneath Winterfell.
Harrenhal.
Let's go back 300 years to Aegon's conquest, where he lit up fucking Harrenhal. What he did, and it was described in the book Fire and Blood. He went so high into the sky and then came directly down, and then he just fucking so much fire, so much dragon fire that it melted the stone itself, and just fucking laid waste to Harrenhal.
Oh yeah.
I think we're going to get that in this episode because she's going to go directly above, which is out of range of the scorpions. Like, not range, but out of trajectory. And she is going to come. And here's the thing. You owe me a Coke.
You owe me a Coke.
Yeah, but you didn't say you owe me a Coke. Anyway.
He's right.
Yeah, you're right.
You're right.
So all these innocent people are in the Red Keep. Daenerys does not give a fuck at this point.
Anymore.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
We don't know that yet, but
no, she already stated that because
has been her argument forever. That she's not going to do that.
She made the comment that we're going to go there and offer her peace, and if she denies it, they will know the reason. They will know whose fault it is when I rain fire down upon them.
Yeah,
she already stated that she's going to do it if she denies it.
Drogon is doing exactly what Balerion the Dread did.
But it was to the fleet in the preview.
Oh, it was.
It was.
Well, yeah, that's what they make you think.
That is fair.
Or it could be.
That could be very good
video editing. Yeah.
I mean, they've done it in the past.
Absolutely.
I don't think they have. I don't think Game of Thrones has. Like
not Game of Thrones. Marvel, yes.
Marvel does it all the time, where they manipulate trailers to look a certain way.
But just imagine this: Drogon coming down, just fucking glassing the whole Red Keep.
Nice reference.
All these fucking innocent people just burnt and turned to ash. Meanwhile, Cersei's kind of safe because maybe she went down into the crypts, the dungeons, whatever. Maybe she's safe down there.
For a while.
So, I mean, because they're obviously not going to kill her that way. Jon, on the other side of King's Landing, just up against the wall, just witnesses this, and he's like, "Oh my God,
we're getting into my."
Now, Jon's like, "I can't stand for this. Like, I cannot be on her side anymore."
Go ahead.
And that's the tragedy.
Her prophecy within the House of Undying. King's Landing is burnt down, holes, and then covered in snow.
I've told you that every day this week.
I have not heard you say that.
She burns it down, but the
I've
Night
barely
King,
talked to you about this.
She burns it down, but the Night King brings the winter. But she dies, and that's why she's reunited with
Drogon. Or Drogo.
So, I just realized that Drogon could be Drogo instead of Dragon.
Wow.
Just now.
Get it together, dude.
Wow.
I I've thought about that for a while. I was like, why just dragon and then two friends' names?
Drogon
Like,
for Drogo,
got it.
Viserion for Viserys, and
Shit,
Rhaegal for Rhaegar.
fucking all right. So
now John doesn't have a dragon.
yeah, what a bitch.
And Jon's dragon was Rhaegal, named after his father.
I know.
Oh,
that
it's
was so
fun.
perfect.
That's perfect. And his father died in battle where he shouldn't have.
I wish that they
battle of the Trident, and the Trident is
With a crushed chest.
and the
via
Trident
Robert.
is what's that god's name?
The
Poseidon.
Trident is
Poseidon's
But
Huh?
Poseidon's not
weapon,
in
which
this.
is of the sea, and the sea is where he died in. And oh my god, the imagery, and everything.
But Poseidon's not in this.
Yeah, but it's
We just got
Poseidon is everywhere.
but Poseidon's weapon's the Trident, and the Trident.
Do you
and
have a
Poseidon's
moment to
god of
talk
the
about
sea.
our Lord and Savior Poseidon?
I'm waiting for the dragon Lord Bahamut to just come from the sky. And,
Baphomet?
no,
Bahamut?
Bahamut.
Bahamut.
Behemoth.
Bahamut.
Behemoth.
Bahamut.
Not Baphomet. No, not him. Behemoth.
Thinking, trying to bring it back.
Ooh,
Loading.
Bahamut.
Loading.
we're done. You
Loading.
can talk.
Okay, so
We're just being
let's go to my John theory first before someone else says it, because we're getting real damn close. I think that by the end of the series, John is going to either A, sit the throne and hate it, or B, my personal favorite, and the one I actually believe, I just have to include the other one because enough people have argued it successfully, he's going to fuck off to the north with his best ginger friend
The true north.
and his dog, because he's gonna get south
Dire
and he's
wolf,
gonna
not a
watch
dog.
Daenerys Hiroshima the fuck out of King's Landing,
And just defect.
and not defect, just fuck off,
Abandon.
right?
It's all the
And
same.
not yet though. By the way,
He'll
If this
finish
is-
the fight. He'll finish the battle.
Yes, that
He'll do what
and
needs to be done.
this
But
is-
he'll, in the end, he'll just be
This
like,
is one of two
is not what I
major
want.
stepping stones towards that decision. The second comes after, and he'll realize what the pursuit of the throne and the intermingling and the entangling of Daenerys with the others involved in this pursuit and the Game of Thrones.
will he become the king beyond the wall?
Jesus.
Oh,
maybe.
Jesus.
I like that.
He will tell Cersei, your fight with the North will be in the North.
And the last scene is John rolling Bran on his wheelchair, going through the hole in the wall.
You want some more applesauce?
So
Okay.
And then he just goes, I don't want any more.
I don't
want any, but it's good for you. It'll keep you strong.
I'm beyond applesauce now.
I am no
You
longer
were beautiful that
applesauce
night.
now. I require pudding.
Oh God. All right. So
Away from that is so awful.
the
Please.
you'll see what it's done to Daenerys, what it made her become, and he'll say he'll be repulsed by it. He'll be turned off by it. He'll have an issue with it. He may even directly state as much to her face because he's not one to lie for the sake of appearances. Then either Daenerys survives and the throne is offered to him in secret, or Daenerys dies and a council of regents is formed and they examine claims and say he has the strongest one, and he goes, how the fuck do you know that? Basically, so many words. And it's revealed that Sansa betrayed his trust. And this will so thoroughly disgust him because of the whole family argument that went into revealing the secret in the first place.
Because he made her swear.
Right, and that as well. And it's so un-Stark-like of Sansa to do that, especially. And this will just...
Considering
You'll
what
be
Ned
so...
kept secret for so
Ned
long.
Exactly.
is fucking secret keeper of the century.
To quote Ned Stark, war was easier than daughters.
Oh fuck yeah!
So,
That's good.
he'll be
High
fucking...
fives on that, bro.
Bringing it back.
He'll be fucking
That's even good
disgusted as all hell. And he'll be like, I'm done. I don't want the fucking crown. And they'll try to force it upon him, just like everyone's saying. Just like it's been said, even in the show.
But
And
he
has
always
one-
accepts what's been.
Not
given
this
to
time.
him.
He takes the black again.
That.
But there is no black at this point.
There's
There's no more black at
legitimate
this.
social function served by
There is.
having such a non-governmental
There absolutely
organization.
is, but there's no threat to the
And
north now.
you don't need one to have an excuse to get rid of all
They
of
know-
your uncomfortable.
There's
and
no
awkward
reason
baggage.
for the black if you're no longer fighting
They
the myth or the wildlings because they know they are now
Just
allies.
because we're not fighting this generation of wildlings does not at all mean that we will
They've
no
all-
longer be fighting the wildlings.
They know that they fought the White Walkers before, and they're back.
That
How?
as well.
We don't know. Guess what? They're gonna come back.
I think you're right.
They're gonna come back.
I can't defend
The
it, but I
Night
think
King
you're
is
right.
not
It could
dead.
take thousands of years, but and it's that simple. I'm going.
But
up
now they're
going to
pass down the story of how they, the true North, allied with
The greatest king.
the greatest king
which I don't think
to defeat
is in lore.
the greatest threat.
I don't think that they've ever.
They're
Going for-
breaking the wheel. They're
They-
creating new lore.
Well,
Well-
some of them are fucking John and friends, but no one else wants to fucking break the wheel. They're full of shit.
Jay Snow and friends are getting super freaky
Jay
fresh.
Snow.
Jon Snow, Mr.
Jason-
Starkarian.
One final point in my argument is he has one Targaryen role model.
Aemon.
Aemon. Maester Aemon.
Mr.
Maester
Aemon.
Aemon, if you remember, was the crown prince before Aerys II, the Mad
Yep,
King.
and he
Maester
denied it.
Aemon passed up the crown. They said, no, you're going to take the crown. He said, fuck you, I'm taking the black.
Yep.
He went north. He would have been a much better king.
Fuck yeah.
Just not only because of its... He would have been a much better king compared to almost any of the kings of the Targaryen line. But especially that psycho motherfucker.
Yeah.
Which, we're watching this unfold again. Jon, Daenerys, etc. Jon's not going to take the crown.
Nothing.
Jon's not going to stay in the south. Jon's going to fuck off to the north where they can't force it upon him. Whether there is the black to take or not, if there is no black to take, he'll go beyond the wall and hang out with Tormund and his
Well,
dog.
there's that. He could.
That is wonderfully poetic, and I love that idea.
Uh-huh.
Real quick, before we let it slip by again,
Wrong.
fuck off DB Weiss and Benioff for the ending with Ghost. That was garbage. People are
Garbage.
defending
Yeah.
it. Garbage.
Garbage.
Absolutely. You could have just had a scene where you walk up to him and say, "Hey, boy, we've been through a lot.
Go
Blah,
be
blah,
free.
Blah 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 blah. I'm going down where it's a little too warm for you, bud. You go be free."
to Funky Town.
You could have. Why on earth? Okay. The bond between man and dog is
God.
just so.
He is not a dog.
Unbelievably, it's so unbelievably.
He's direwolf, and he's only ever known just free reign.
Yeah, he has known free reign pretty much the entire time.
So, but how on earth are you're alienating everybody? Everybody goes. That's how you're gonna get rid of your dog, dude. What the?
He's
fuck?
not even getting rid of it. He is putting Ghost in the care of a trusted friend to keep him safe because he knows if he takes Ghost south, Ghost is going to die. And he knows Tormund's going north, and he knows Ghost is going to be safe and happy up there.
Where he belongs.
If he does not return, he will still be in a proper place for him.
You have
And
a
he didn't
legitimate
say
complaint.
goodbye.
You have a legitimate complaint, and I have a legitimate solution for you.
Please.
Believe my theory.
Said goodbye.
He'll go
off
back
screen.
and hang out with his good old boy.
What?
Later.
He'll go back and hang out with his good boy, his dog,
That would.
his wolf,
That
dire
would be
wolf.
the most
His-
beautiful ending.
Yeah, well,
His
and
good-
Tormund, of
With
course.
that good boy.
Tormund. I love the idea.
What if he takes
perfect-
the black and he becomes the
Well, then, if-
Lord Commander again?
Or he.
Then Tormund will be his best buddy beyond the
Why
wall.
didn't he give Tormund one of the castles?
He did.
He
sent him
tried.
back to Class of Black
Tormund doesn't give a fuck.
Tormund
about
because
that.
Tormund said he'd take the free folk back to Castle Black, and what's remains of it.
Once the snows lift, he's
Yeah.
going back to Castle Black, and from there they're going to venture under the wall to the north, to the true north.
Yep.
Now, I strongly agree the wildlings have earned one of the many empty castles.
Absolutely.
And I think that Jon was about to fucking give him one, but
Or all of them.
honestly, but Tormund, before that could even be done, Tormund's like, all right, look, we don't like it down here. We're
We
going
need
back to
room
where
to
we can
roam."
wander.
That's tight. John, I think John should have offered.
I agree.
We got enough time to watch Brienne and Jaime fucking. We got enough time to let John say goodbye to his fucking pet best friend.
We have enough time for Daenerys to make the most egregious error of the entire series.
No, we have spent hours of the series watching Daenerys make egregious, fucking terrible mistakes.
Yeah,
I
we
love
have.
Daenerys.
Like
I've got
like
Daenerys
sleeping with that
tattooed on my
guy
body.
in,
I love Daenerys,
Koth.
but she's so fucking stupid.
I did love Daenerys.
Everything in Koth was an egregious mistake by Daenerys.
Karth?
Karth.
Yeah, Karth.
Sorry, I am the worst with fucking names
No,
of
it's
this
fine.
show because there's so many fucked up enunciations.
You
of
could
all
be
this
Nate
shit.
Vanderwall.
Nobody could be Nate Vanderwall.
Except for Nate Vanderwall. Yeah, the dragon bitch. She's now with the midget, and
Do you think that Tyrion and Sansa are gonna wind up together?
that would be interesting.
So
I like that.
I think it's on the table, but I don't know if Tyrion's gonna live.
He was the best of them.
Spoiler.
Do you know spoilers? Do you have spoilers?
I've
That
read-
looks like a yes.
I've read it in a lot of different places. I think George kind of admitted that Tyrion is one of the people. That
so you're talking about the list of 5 that's been known ever since before the series got started.
Yeah.
That list is only good to the end. At the end, he can still die.
You think?
Yeah, it's stated that they will survive until the end, but they can
Through the end.
but they can still die at the end.
The thing is you know, we theorize, fantasize, and someone like Tyrion, I don't know how he dies.
I'll tell you right now.
What is the most poetic way for Tyrion to die?
Under a boulder.
I don't.
being suffocated by too many whores?
Maybe
80 years old with a belly full of wine and a
Yes, excellent.
You think Tyrion's?
and a woman's mouth
Yes.
upon my cock.
Danny is the same way for me. I can't envision Danny dying.
80 years old with a belly full of wine.
Could she? Would
and
she?
Probably.
Yeah, but I
Would she
don't.
in
I
the
don't see it.
Was she on a train? Was she in the rain?
She was
I can see Jon dying. I
taking
can
a train.
see.
What?
in the rain.
I can see Jon dying. I
No,
can see Jaime
take it
dying.
back.
I see Cersei dying.
Take it.
I don't know how Tyrion would die.
I think
don't-
Cersei has to die.
Yes.
Actually, if she doesn't die and she ends up being the one,
I'm fucking done.
I'm
I'm
all
on-
right.
What?
I'm pissed.
I'm all right
I'm
with that.
pissed
No.
if Cersei dies. If Cersei
Lives. Cersei better fucking die.
That doesn't make any fucking sense.
It makes perfect sense.
Oh,
In what way?
hell.
And the way Game of Thrones has been saying, everything you love and hope and hate doesn't go the way you want. The only time that has ever happened is with Joffrey.
God
And
damn, that was
Ramsay.
beautiful.
I would say that
Ramsay got his just desserts because you saw that coming, the way he was letting things go. Cersei has not let things go. She's only ever tightened up and secured up even better. She's been learning, per se, from
she's
her
been
shit.
lucky.
Yeah, she's been lucky in times, but I believe when Tywin said you're not as smart as you think you
He
are,
was right.
he was right, and she knew it.
And I
Because
think
she's
she-
been doing things better. Because when
She
Euron Greyjoy
was.
was all like advancing on her again, and she's all like, if you want a whore, buy one. If you want a queen, earn her. And he snapped back, and she's walking off.
And then 2 seconds later,
Yeah, I
And
was gonna
she's
say.
all like, wait. And he gave her just the ultimate rebuttal that he has been like the best suitor that's ever come after her, and she's still refusing. She decides, oh no, if I refuse him now, I would create another enemy. I accept him now,
or
I
she
create a
realizes
strong
that,
ally.
that she can use the pregnancy to
Right.
to further pull him
Being
in.
smarter about it and not thinking she's already smart enough.
Yeah.
He's that guy that's constantly, sending her DMs, and she's like, I'm not doing it, dude. I'm not
Dude,
doing it.
love that dick pic. You know what? Here's my butthole.
Euron is the
I
kind
showed
of
you
person
my
to
dick,
send
now say-
unsolicited dick pics.
Yeah, he's the king of that.
Yeah.
But no, I can totally see it because everybody else, like, Danny being just desperate and just gung ho and just wild and not doing things right and totally getting fucking her dragons killed by these rash, crazy decisions, or just being fucking
And modern day
dumb.
artillery in the form of a crossbow.
And then,
Fuck.
Cersei being absolutely prepared and ready, knowing that there's an army coming, knowing they're going to be heavily depleted, and just
She is seriously betting on the fact that she won't torch the city, and I think that she will.
no, she's seriously
I
betting
definitely
that she
think she
will
is.
torch
Yeah.
the city.
Nope.
No,
There's no evidence to support that.
No, I gotta agree with Austin.
Yeah,
I was gonna call you
that's
middle
right,
guy,
John.
but Austin.
Middle guy.
And that's because all of the innocents are not the innocents. All of the civilians are herded into the castle, which is standard in times of siege. But
She
not-
stated that
I
I brought
would
him in
say
here
that
so she can.
exactly, there's not a history of dragons being used in medieval Europe during sieges. So I would argue that this new aspect of this particular siege it's being used as a hearts and minds thing. Like, oh, hey, Daenerys is totally evil. Look, she burned 10,000 people in the castle. She didn't give a shit about that. Breaker of chains, my ass. Cersei is a terrible person and not very good at military strategy, but she is excellent at emotional manipulation.
I think that in the event of coming in and burning everything down, that's acknowledging the fact that Cersei's going down.
Yeah, but no,
if she decides to come in and torch the city,
Cersei full on believes that Daenerys is going to come in and use the dragon, singular now, to totally burn down King's Landing.
I don't agree with that at all.
She even mentions it in the episode that she's pulling them all in, and it says if she wants to burn the city down, she has to burn them all down too, so they can see the tyrant that she is.
Okay.
I can mediate.
I was going to say that is a good point because we're talking about unspoken things.
Right.
I think that when she says that, like, yeah, bring everybody in. Then she has to, if she wants to get me, she's got to get them. I think Cersei's betting on the fact that she won't. That's what I think. And you're betting on the fact on her saying like, yeah, do it. And then this is the fallout from that.
So I can see both of you being correct simultaneously for two reasons. The first being she's hedging her bets.
Yeah, absolutely.
And the second being, she is an arrogant fucking bitch. She thinks that she will make it out even if the castle burns. Abso-fucking-lutely, she thinks she's going to make it out. She's got a ship ready somewhere.
Yeah, you don't see any sense in Cersei of
except for that scene
going down.
Right.
Except for during the Battle of Blackwater where she tries to poison her son.
She's getting ready to, and then Tywin fucking strolls in.
Yeah, but I would say she wasn't queen yet though. She was queen, but she was not ruling queen. She was queen via wife, and then she was queen via mother.
Queen regent.
Queen regent is actually correct. Yes.
Yes. Dongo father.
Dong.
The alcohol is strong with this one.
So did we forget anything? I feel like we
I know that we have, but I
feel like we brushed past like really important parts that were just like really subtle throughout the show.
Yeah.
I'm really, really disturbed by the Starbucks ad placement.
But
I think that confirms the fact that Dany is a time traveler.
You do realize
literally unplayable.
Mike Myers is totally going to be Wayne from Wayne's World eating Doritos and drinking Coke over screen now.
I expect Shrek to come busting through the wall.
Oh, God.
So.
No, I expect a Kool-Aid man to become busting through the wall with Ecto Cooler Kool-Aid within him.
What?
To look like the Mage Fire. Because he's green.
Yeah, you're right.
Okay. I think we covered
Wildfire.
Okay,
Are we going to see
They
Yara's...
have mentioned in the show that King Aerys put wildfire
all over
the
city.
That is
so
still
it's just going to fucking blow
And I
up.
definitely have for years now been theorizing that is how King's Landing is going to go. Originally, I was theorizing that was also how the Army of the Dead would go, because they'd lay siege to Winterfell until it was to a certain point defeated, and then march further south, and then march on the city of King's Landing. They'd light it up and destroy, but that's clearly not what happened.
So you're saying that Daenerys will use the dragon on King's Landing?
Yes.
And then during one of her attacks with dragon fire, will ignite wildfire.
Yes.
I disagree.
I think that's a possibility.
I think that it's a possibility in the event that they manage to break through the surface of the city into the catacombs, but that would require bunker buster missiles and
you got to.
But
if she comes down on the city from the top,
what can melt stone?
Fire.
Dragon fire.
A dragon the size of Valerian, which is not Drogon.
Oh
no.
So
Valerian
you seem like a very very well versed
fucking
gentleman.
love.
So are you? So have you read the history of Ice and Fire?
You talking about the Orange Book or the Fire and Blood book?
The Orange.
Got it.
There's that beautiful picture of old boy standing on Balerion, and he is a morsel on his neck.
Right. Oh,
this dragon is bigger than a fucking Walmart Supercenter.
Yes.
This dragon is fucking monstrous.
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
It's stupid big.
Balerion was a monster.
And if you remember from the picture, it wasn't infantry beneath Balerion; it was cavalry.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's still just like ants. Balerion was stupid big.
It's so funny that they go, Aegon came to conquer like this and did
No,
great.
he fucking didn't. He came with a giant ass dragon.
Well,
and two other dragons.
And two other giant ass fucking dragons.
Yeah.
He came in and did it.
That were bigger than
And
the three
Dany
dragons that
is
Dany
But he
brought.
couldn't
blowing
conquer
it.
Dorne.
Danny's blowing it.
Oh yeah, with 8-year-old dragons too. Like,
I love the fact that with Aegon, he fucking went all the way up, got to the Starks, and the Starks were the ones that went, we're not going to die.
Starks were the second, Baratheons were the first.
Yeah.
Starks were the ones that
Torrhen Stark.
They didn't even get, I don't even think they fought them. They came, and they were like, you guys good? And they're like, oh, we're good. We ain't going to fight you.
Torrhen Stark
Ain't gonna
had
fight
called his banners and was preparing. He was amassing his army, preparing to fight. They saw what happened on the field of fire. They saw what happened at Harrenhal, and they're
The
like,
king
"Yeah,
that
fuck
knelt."
this." King that knelt, Torrhen Stark, named a city after him, Torrhen Square.
The Starks are smart people. They don't want to play the game.
Some of them, most of them.
They don't want to play the
yeah,
game.
there's
You're
a lot
right.
of there's a lot of stupid people.
There's a lot of stupid all over.
Sons of.
But I think, again, there's so many characters, and they develop them so hard that they kind of, they make you feel, the Starks are the good guys.
Starks are
They're the good guys.
yes.
Do they make the best decisions all the time? No. But they're the good guys. Who are the bad guys? Lannisters. The
Yeah.
Lannisters are the ones that'll stab you in the back.
Yeah.
Force it in the pooper.
All sorts of
Screw
weird
your
shit.
sister. You know,
You mean their sisters?
they
And cousins.
Lannister style.
And they use it, and they defend it by saying the Targaryens did it. Just admitting the fact that the Targaryens are fucking the godlike fucking creatures. Which, kind of, they just came and had these fucking creatures that no one had really seen and just
Right.
whooped everyone's fucking asses.
Oh wait, dragons are real. And
We can
then-
argue about what gods are, but
Dragons
someone
are right
flying
here.
over the sky with something that fucking can destroy everything. You got my fucking praise, Bubba.
Bubba. Oh, so I have read a comment on Reddit that I actually had not thought of, but I agree with strongly, and that is, how do any of you remember vividly how you felt during the first season, especially towards the end of it, by the end of episode 9, how the show had, like, what the fuck, right? Off the rails, everything's going crazy.
Horny.
This okay, also that. This episode specifically has brought season 8 closer to season 1 than any of the intervening episodes. Everything is back, just thrown the fuck off the deep end. Shit hits the fan.
It's a circle.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
We're back to
It's a wheel.
nothing is for certain. Everything is like everything's been thrown into chaos, and now, as I was saying at the beginning, but we didn't want to get into because it was theory. Got to build your theories based on what is feasible in the amount of time left. And my understanding is, I've been told, anyways, rumors that this next episode will wrap up the present storyline, and then the last episode, will be like a fucking time skip, like Dragon Ball style.
Ooh.
I don't know that that's true. Don't take that as God's word or anything.
You
but-
mean like what Hit does?
I like the idea of the
What?
battle taking place.
He's
in the
not into Super
penultimate.
yet.
But you know what you need to realize too? And this
started
is something
Super
that someone
before.
brought up to me. The
Oh,
best,
yes.
the
The purple
best
guy.
episode
Yeah.
Time
from
skip.
every
Hit.
season is
Eight.
the next to last.
Yes.
That is
the
true.
penultimate.
That
the
is good.
penultimate episode. So
Next on the ultimate episode of
I think it's gonna mostly we're gonna have a lot of wrap up in this next episode.
Mm-hmm.
You are a guy, huh?
I'm stoked. I'm ready for it.
I am too.
I got a tinkle so bad. Are we
Yep.
gonna wrap up?
Let's
soon?
wrap this up.
Yeah, I gotta get home and cook a steak.
Let's wrap this up. Thank you, John, for coming back. Austin, for joining the fracas.
It's been a while
It's been a while.
since we frackised.
We
with the fracas.
and you know you pioneered the fracas.
I did. I brought that into the
you're
vernacular.
a fracas snare.
Fracasio.
Did you tell him how I guessed the name of one of your previous podcasts today?
Straight up, I was like, yeah, Nick will be there. He's the co-host, and he's like, you guys should do a Nick and Dick podcast. I'm like, what do you know? We have one.
Yeah, it's very slow
Nick
going.
and Dick's
We were so
Happy
excited.
Fun Metal Time.
We got to get back on that.
We do.
Maybe after this we can get back on.
I
Yeah,
want to
for sure.
get on one of those episodes.
There's only 2 more left. I want one more. I said it on the
Oh,
air,
I
so
want
now
to. I want
now
to
you're
have
pressured.
I want to have a huge panel
That
for the
shit. What he
finale?
said.
for the finale.
Brandon,
Yeah, we can
Mike,
do that. We can definitely
everyone.
do that.
I'll be there.
I mean, we did it. We did it for episode 2 of Podcastrophe, the original Game of King Chair episode.
Yeah.
Where we just straight up did the entire season review, in which we dived into the whole series. Honestly,
we kind of dove into a bunch of the series on this episode too.
So this was a really fun episode because I think that we did a good job of covering things while being able to delve into theory, which I'm like super nerddom where books, show. I watch the YouTube theory videos like
Shift X.
Yes, Preston Jacobs.
Some.
I like Preston a lot. Red Team Review. I'm totally into it, and I love discussing theory and stuff. And honestly, something about wrapping up the show has got me reinvigorated.
Yeah, absolutely.
Rereading the books and stuff like that. Like, it's a fucking great story, and I appreciate that they made it a show because the show is what got me into the books.
Yeah.
So whether or not I like the show as much as I like the books, I really appreciate it for getting me into it, and it's fucking great TV.
Yes.
One way or another.
If you're hungering for more content, depending on what video games you play, I've got some extremely good, in-depth, immersive mods that you will enjoy.
That sounds marvelous.
But let's go ahead and wrap this up. I don't know if you had anything important to say.
No, I was just going to ask if we were...
Whoa!
I was just going to ask if we were going to do
I thought this guy was your friend.
Extra long episode after
Coworker.
the sick...
Oh, I am at...
Oh, wow.
What a dick!
Not even a
Damn.
working
No wonder
acquaintance.
your name is Dick.
But
So-
yes, John, to answer your question, I fully anticipate the last
Being quite long.
episode being a monstrously long
Is
episode.
that when we want to do the super panel, or do we want to do it after the second to last?
We can do an extra episode
Both.
to really.
Both.
Ooh,
talk
it'd
about
be fun.
together.
So we do the next 2 episodes, and,
And
then we
then-
have
and then a wrap-up. Yeah.
A wrap-up episode where we discuss the whole thing. I
And
like
we
that.
should also touch on the prequel, the series that's going to be coming out. Like
Hopefully.
The Long Night.
I don't think it's going to be the Long Night.
I think they confirmed it.
Oh, the original Long Night. In the Age of Heroes.
The original Long Night.
Yeah,
with the Battle
the War
of the
for the
Children.
Dawn.
The first men, the children of
Yep.
the forest,
Yeah.
the creation
That's-
of the Night King.
They're not saying when, but it's coming.
Well, if that
Winter is
plot
coming.
has been confirmed, there's a lot to discuss in what they may or may not do.
Winter
They may-
is-
And that's why they a lot of people have argued that's why they
brewing.
brushed over the Night King and that
It's
ending.
not a bad idea right there.
I've always stated that this show, Game of King Chair, yeah, sure, it's about the final season of Game of Thrones. However, if another series comes along, we can revive
It'll
this.
be back.
So this,
I talked about
this
doing
prequel
a
season
book
will be
club
will
Yeah.
be a
where we
cold
kind
brew.
of read through the books and discuss it. So
I'm down for that. Let me finish my Star Wars kick first, though.
I'm gonna shift because Star Wars with their new audiobooks are doing full voice casts.
Holy
Oh,
shit.
wow.
I'm so in because like the Game of Thrones guy, he's ridiculous. Hearing him do different people's voices, it doesn't work.
Have you...
But Star Wars, the first one is getting ready to come out. It's a Count Dooku story. And they've got a
Oh.
full audio cast. And every
Interessante.
other audiobook afterwards will have a full cast. I'm
So every other one, so one won't and one will.
I don't believe that's what I said.
All right,
All
we're
right.
going to get off topic.
Let's
again.
go ahead and wrap this up. Thank you, everyone, for watching. We've had a lot of views,
And
a lot of
commenting.
visitors today. It's been great. The comments have been great. Thank you for those who listen to this show on Friday on the Podcastrophe
Or
feed.
today, as you're listening on Friday.
We're going to be live again next Thursday around 5:30 or 6. And we are going to be in audio form every Friday as long as the show is going. So please check us out and check out Podcastrophe every Tuesday live on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. Audio form on Thursday on a lot of the platforms.
Everywhere.
Check
Everywhere.
out Nick's podcast, Brews with Dudes and Dungeons with Dudes.
Yeet.
Austin's usually on both of those.
Both of those
Regular.
regularly.
Regular.
Whether or not you like it or not, I'm there.
A lot of people don't, but we keep inviting them back.
But you know what? The people that do, drive it.
We're desperate for content.
Did we ever come out with like a sign off for this?
No.
No.
We can do my classic.
What's up?
Just
The
and we'll see you next time on another episode of Game of king chairs.
Yeah!